Thanks to EA for sponsoring this video. Hey lovelies, welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. I decided to build a Christmas themed build. This is supposed to be Santa's Express and Santa's Mansion. So we have a wonderful mansion in the background. It's like a mountain cabin. Everything is snowy and dreamy and beautiful. And then we have a train which is full of gifts and toys. So it's all about Christmas magic here. This was a really detailed build to create. I used so many debug objects, so there is a lot going on here. So let's see what I built and how I did it. So my initial vision was to create the train. I knew that I would have to build the tracks. I knew that I wanted to have some tunnels, and I also needed to create a curve because even though 64 by 64 is not a small lot size, I was kind of running out of space. Like immediately when I was like planning the build, I knew, okay, I have to compromise. I have to see how I'm arranging everything. And I wanted the train to like go around a curve. And I then had different options to do this. There are debug objects which look like train tracks. And at first I wanted to use the ones from Horse Ranch, but I couldn't create a smooth curve with them because I would have to size them down a lot to really create the smooth curve, but then the proportions weren't right. So I ended up using this debug object here, which has the perfect curve, but it also has like this straight piece, this straight track attached to it, so I couldn't use it. And at this point I thought, okay, I'm going to use this debug object as my guideline and I'm going to create my very own tracks. I used different debug objects for this as well. For example, like a little small fence thingy from Jungle Adventure, and I just assembled my own track, and I was able to do this by following the shape of the debug object, so I could really see that like the proportions are right and everything is placed where it's supposed to be. And initially in the beginning, I had built a room and a floor piece on top. And when you do this and delete the room at the bottom, you're left with a floating floor piece. I love to talk about the floating floor piece. I feel like the floating floor piece is a legend on this channel by now. I did it so I was able to have a gigantic floating floor, and I raised it so it's on the perfect level. I was kind of trying to figure out how high I wanted my bridge with the train tracks to be, and I then placed a round rock on top. This is why there's like a rock in between all of this, and this was initially supposed to be my guideline, but after finding the perfect debug object, I could just use it as a guideline. And here at this point, I'm placing a table, so I have the wood planks and everything is very slowly coming together. I then also decided to use a cube from the Desert Lux kit to have another outline, because here at this point I have finished my tracks, but I of course have to create a bridge. So I have to finish this off by having some type of border or fence going around this, and using a cube is always good for this because the plan is, as you will see, to delete all the floor on the outside so I can create the illusion of a rounded bridge. And of course that's not really possible. Like we have round rooms, we have round foundation pieces, but these are like the default shapes. But if you want to create a custom shape like this, you just have to remove the excess floor and you have to hide the edges. So placing this object is perfect for this. Eventually the rug had a purpose because you just saw that I like moved it to the other side. I changed the size and I was able to follow the shape to create this shape. And after finishing this and after placing all these little cubes, I used an object from Life and Death. This is like a little wall, also just another debug item to finish this off because this cube just looks very simple and basic. By adding this object, it just looks so much more rustic. I don't know, I mean, it's from the Desert Lux kit, so I guess it's giving desert, and I was, of course, going for something else, so adding this debug object was perfect. And here I am finally removing the excess floor, so we have a nice bridge, and it's really like coming together here at this point. I'm finishing this off by adding more of the cubes, removing more floor, and I then laid out the entrance for the tunnel, and this is just a decorative tunnel, and my idea was to simply use a jet black wallpaper so it would look like a hole and the train would be like coming out of the tunnel and going in on the other side. And this is another debug item that I'm placing here. It's from Discover University, and it's actually supposed to be like this type of bridge for a train, because when you look at it at the top, there are train tracks on the top, but here I just placed it below my custom bridge to really create the look I was going for. I was then working on the tunnel entrances. I added wallpaper and also one of these debug items, so it's like looking cohesive and it's the same look as like the arches at the bottom. I also used a platform to raise it, and the issue with builds like this is, for me, I'm like setting my heart on one wall height, and then when I'm working on the rest of the build, I'm kind of stuck with this, but it was fine. I was really like struggling later on, but I made it work. And I then used this debug train, which is from Horse Ranch, and I started to like work on the whole landscaping part. These debug rocks are from Snowy Escape, and they are my favorite for any Christmassy or just any winter build. They're just so perfect because it's like eternal winter. Even when it's summer, even when it's not snowing, you always have this like decorative snow on the debug rocks, which adds so much to the look. I then raised the train a bit, and I was kind of trying to shape everything. I knew that I wanted to build the house right behind the bridge, so this is where I had like raised and flattened the terrain. And here I'm working on a very smooth slope. And also the next episode, part 2 of my building masterclass, is going to be about terrain tools. So everything I'm doing here and more will be explained in my tutorial, and it's going to be released between Christmas and New Year's. So I wanted to release this video here right before Christmas, and then the next video is going to happen like between Christmas and New Year's, and I'm so excited. I hope that you will enjoy part 2. And yeah, here I'm using the terrain paint, and this is supposed to be a snowy build, so I mean, you have to finish a build so it looks good in any season, but all of this is going to be covered later, covered in snow, and I was trying to like I just wanted this to look good and make sense. So I smoothed out the terrain paint a lot, so there are like no sharp edges. Everything is looking like really nice and smooth. I then placed a wagon behind the train. This is also from Horse Ranch. If you are going for a build like this, I can just totally recommend using Horse Ranch in case you own it. It's just perfect for this type of build. And I then used presents from Seasons, which I placed on top of the wagon, and I was just filling the whole space so it would really look like a train full of gifts. And my initial idea was to have like more wagons, but I felt like it was kind of taking away from the whole bridge and train look. I wanted to strategically place like the train and the wagon on the tracks, and I ended up with this layout, I guess. So this is the design I was eventually going for, and I was trying to like use all the different colors and seasons and like place them on top of each other, also different sizes, so it really looks fun. I wish we had like more options for these, like more colors, but I was like really trying to make this look good, and I was placing them on top of each other. I mean, they are just from debug, but I'm wondering if they would be like functional, if Sims would be able to open them. Yeah, and here I'm placing foundation pieces, and at this point the bridge and everything is like pretty much finished, and it's time to work on Santa's mansion. This build is supposed to look like a cabin. It has some modern elements. I've used this amazing window, which is, I think, from Growing Together. I just simply sized it up, and I then placed it on a wall. I adjusted the roof, so the roof is really matching the window, and I then like removed the wall, and I'm going to fill in the space using a half wall and everything. Like, I'm going to make some changes to this. You will see what I'm talking about. And I'm just wanted this to be really inviting and cozy with a modern appeal, and I love to create builds like this. And recently I have created a cabin build in Granite Falls, which is my favorite world ever, probably, alongside Del Sol Valley. And whenever I'm building on the Granite Falls slot, I'm running into lots of issues, so I couldn't upload my last build, like the last cabin. But I just decided to build this in Windenburg because the slot here is not giving me any issues and I will be able to upload this. I didn't have any problems creating this build, no issues, no weird bugs, but whenever I'm working on a build in Granite Falls, like some stuff is like going wrong always. Like the game is freezing and I have this bug. I've talked about this, like where I place a wall and it's like not showing up and everything, but no issues here at all. So the Christmas build is like luckily working out and I will be able to upload this. And I've used a wallpaper for the exterior from Outdoor Retreat. Outdoor Retreat like is the pack that Granite Falls is a part of. So it obviously makes sense that we have like the perfect wallpaper for this type of build in Outdoor Retreat. And it's really looking like one of those log cabins where you have like big logs for the exterior. And I've then used this wall decoration from the base game to like further make it look like a log cabin. So I was really like leaning into the style here. Usually I'm like trying to keep it even more modern, but as you can here see by placing all these objects, it's like really looking really cute and cozy, almost like a little bit over the top and cartoonish, but this is exactly what I was going for. After all, this is a Christmas build, but if you would like to have like a different storyline, or if you are not like into Christmas or Christmas builds, if you simply remove like the Christmas decorations and the presents on the train, it's like a completely different vibe and it's like more of a typical mountain cabin, and you have like the train and you have like a completely different storyline here, so you could totally also use this build for other purposes. So I guess it's good that I like didn't go overboard when I was working on the train. And here I'm placing some island living glass floors inside the room at the top. I decided to simply use it to have like these skylights because I had removed the wall earlier to make the window work, so this room at the top is not fully closed, so this is just all about great light coming in, and I just thought, okay, I'm just going to place the glass floors there and that's it. And then the rooms below are like fully closed, and the regular rooms where I'm going to build the bedrooms, I expanded the build a bit. I wanted it to be a little bit bigger, and I'm eventually going to make it a bit smaller because it didn't look balanced. Like it looked so wide, like the proportions weren't making a lot of sense. So eventually later on I'm going to make it like 2 tiles smaller on each side, and I place more of these wall decorations so it looks more like a log cabin. And I was trying to make it really detailed, but I feel like the most detailed part is definitely like the bridge, the tracks. Like this is really super detailed. I then added more windows. For this, I've used the windows from Snowy Escape. They are really small and I just combined 4 of them most of the time. I then added some round shapes, just some round foundation pieces, and I added a nice trim. I just love to add a good trim. I mean, I feel like it's a must for a build, like to have a trim or freezes. It just ties everything together. I just love it so much. And I then added another round shape because I felt like we just have this gigantic square in the front, the foundation piece, and I just wanted this to look nice, and I wanted everything to flow a bit better. So we have the house in the back and then all these debug rocks in the front. I'm going to add some base game rocks to this so it looks better. I just felt like, okay, I have this train area and the debug rocks, and then I have this like random mansion sitting in the back. I just wanted to connect everything so it looks more cohesive and beautiful. I added stairs because this side is going to be the entrance, so the Sims can walk up the slope and then they can enter the house there. This is also where I have placed some doors. And I then started to decorate the exterior a little bit. I also added tables and chairs so the Sims could go to the outside and grab some food. And here I'm placing the debug rocks, which I mentioned, so everything is connected. And this will look even cuter when there's like so much snow, of course. And I also added some debug rocks to the slope because there were some gaps. I have the slope and then I have these gigantic debug rocks, and placing some smaller rocks just made it look better. I then started to furnish. I placed so many Christmas trees, like even the main bedroom has like its own Christmas tree. This is like very festive. And when you think of Home Alone, there's something like I never really noticed, but I saw like a video about the set design of the movie. And when you pay close attention to everything, like the set and also the clothes, everything is red and green, which makes so much sense because these are like the Christmas colors. And I like never noticed this. I always loved the interior and also the clothes. Like everything looked like Christmas, but I like never noticed that really everything in Home Alone is red and green. Like I could never put my finger on it why it's looking so Christmassy, like even besides all the decorations, but like pay attention to it. Like in case you watch it during the holidays, I was like so blown away after watching this video about the process of filming Home Alone. And here I was kind of trying to do the same, but I also incorporated lots of white because I wanted to put an emphasis on the whole snow theme. I just love snow and the amazing rocks from Story Escape, so I just wanted to incorporate some white, but you can see that I've used a lot of green and red here on the interior to make it look really Christmassy. Also these rocks, which are so over the top. I mean, as I said earlier, even like these wall decorations, which look like logs, like make it a little bit cartoonish. So on the interior, I also wanted to like make it a little bit over the top, but I feel like it's still looking realistic and it has some modern vibes, but it's also super cozy and Christmassy. There's just so much going on. Also these curtains. The curtains are either from Seasons or the free holiday celebration pack. Like there's one pack which is free, which is like for celebrating the holidays, and when you want to work on a Christmas build, you will find the perfect items in like Seasons and the holiday celebration pack. And I also decided to change the wallpaper to red, and I'm going to do the same for the bedrooms, but I'm also going to use green. And this room behind the stairs is just perfect as a living room. It had the perfect dimensions. I used 2 doorways which are leading into the room, and there's like one section which is just for watching TV and chilling on the sofa, and then we have like a desk, like some type of office area on the other side. And I had so much fun furnishing this actually because it was so much fun to really use all these colors and trying to make it look cozy but still like a realistic home. I just thought it's so much fun to have a build like this. And yeah, I also, as I said, used so many Christmas trees, which is so amazing. Like I put my Christmas tree up like weeks ago. Like in late November, I put up my tree and I just thought, okay, I'm just going to decorate it now, then I'm done, because I love like having the tree, but I'm sometimes stressed putting up the tree. So I was happy when I was done. And here I'm working on the main bathroom, which is located at the bottom. There will be 3 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms in total. And I just wanted to have a big main bathroom at the bottom. So it's like located right next to the living area for gameplay purposes. So Sims don't have to walk a like long path to reach the bathroom, and then each bedroom also has its own bathroom, so this is like really functional for gameplay. Even though it's looking so over the top on the exterior, the inside is like really symmetrical and makes sense. It's not too big, I guess. This is the main bedroom, and at first I kind of forgot to change the wallpaper, because for these cabin builds I sometimes like to have the same wallpaper on the inside as on the exterior, so it's really giving log cabin, but I changed it because I wanted this to be as Christmassy and fun as possible. I also want to say before the video ends that I hope that you will have awesome holidays, no matter how you celebrate, or maybe you don't celebrate at all, but I just hope that you will have a great time. The year is coming to an end, and just hope that you can spend the last days of the year the way you want to, and that you are happy. I'm just hoping that you are doing so well, and also thank you for a really great 2024. I had the opportunity to build for Life and Daz, which was so amazing, and you made this possible for me, so thank you so much. This was very exciting. Also, recently I started to upload all the time again. I'm constantly building, creating content for you. I hope that you're enjoying it, and I guess I'm just excited for 2025 and to keep creating, and I just want to say thank you. And I'm saying it right now because I feel like the tutorial won't be like the video for thanking you and talking about random stuff and rambling. So thank you so much. I love you all so much. Happy holidays to all of you. I hope you will have a happy, perfect 2025 full of luck and abundance and health and love and everything you wish for. I love you all so much. And yeah, here I've added lots of screenshots so you can really check out what I built here. This build is available in the gallery. My ID is KateEmerald. As always, you can find all information in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.